Yeah, I definitely think there's more there with him. I don't think we're
Hmm.
at the end of what he has to offer. I just feel like this environment, the cameras, the meet and greets maybe may not be where he shines, but the way he took that feedback about him needing to give more, I think says a lot about what he can do. I also think that Cam is particularly interested in maybe a few people and not others. So I think he needs to use his social battery to connect with those people and maybe pull back on everyone else, because I kind of, even though I'm an extrovert introvert. I think that's what it is. So everyone thinks I'm an extrovert, but when I get into social settings, I get very very exhausted and sometimes very guarded because I am just literally tired. And he just seems like he was, I don't know, a little just literally exhausted by the process, and he just was trying to give enough, but it was coming off that he wasn't, trying to connect. But I definitely love the way he took feedback, and hopefully he spends his like social battery on the people that he's interested in. And I think he could do that. So that's what I would say.
Um, I was fearful that Shanice was going to make this another interview, but at least she wasn't talking about herself. She was kind of drawing him out. He did share in the second mixer a lot with Rose, but he did keep to his vest when she asked about his family and his connection with them. But he is opening up just a little. Um, I'm kind of wondering in the back of my head, was this before or after the conversation with Deanna? Because it seems like this would have been before. He's a little more open. I'd like to see how he, connected with other people after that kind of, switcheroo. But yeah, he did open up quite a bit. He again, I want to see more with Shanice. I wanted to see more of that conversation because I think he got through to her just a little bit, but I feel there was more to the conversation that we didn't get to see. But glad to see that he did turn around and shared more.
And just like Seaway said, I too consider myself to be an ambivert. And when I tell you my social battery runs low, like I can have you a good time and I can be out all night, but trust you ain't gonna see me for a little while. Because that social battery is
Wait, is that the name? Is that the name? That's what we are? There's a name for that?
yes, ambivert.
Oh wow, okay.
Um, so yep, I too am the same way. Like I can chat it up, with the best of them, but after that, I'm gonna need you to leave me alone for a little bit. You know, we could talk on the phone, but don't ask me to come nowhere. And boy, oh boy, trying to get me out my house when I really don't want to go. Good luck and God bless to you. Because if I don't want to go, I'm not going. I'm gonna tell you I'm not going though, for sure. But to Cam, he said a couple of things to me, and I'm surprised the ladies didn't clock it, that were a little bit of red flags. You know,
Remind
you
us. Just remind
you
us. Remind us.
you you know me and my patriarchy. He was having that conversation, and he was talking about he needs his woman to fall in line. I was like, "Ooh, bro,
I
ooh,
thought we were
ooh,
getting there later. I
ouch,
thought we were
ouch,
getting to.
ouch."
I did hear that. I did hear that. What else did he say, Sean? Break it
And
down.
then he's not really. He's when they somebody, I forget who it was, asked him about marriage. He must have flim flammed that conversation and was like, "Listen, I could be. I don't have to be. I don't really need marriage. It don't really matter to me." Yeah, it wasn't sounding a lot like ready to love. It was sounding like I'm ready to just lie down with whomever and whenever. Um, yeah. So I
I
don't think
caught that.
he's
I caught the latter,
serious.
Sean. I caught the latter.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't come off really serious to me. Like I don't think he's very serious, and I think that might be one of the reasons too. Not that it was right for her to talk to him that way. I'm not trying to defend it, but I think also Deanna may have clocked a little bit of that too, and she was like, "I might fall in line, but for the right one. But you telling me to fall in line is one thing, and me choosing to fall in line is another. So
Yes, he did also mention about struggling in a long-term relationship. So I'll play a little bit of clips so you can listen.
Man, probably.
Let's go back a little bit.
A long relationship has been like 2 years. I've never been in like a long-term relationship.
I mean, 2 years is quite a long time. I mean, he kind of downplayed himself a little bit there. But he said obviously he hasn't done a long-term relationship. And actually, that's when he made a comment about falling in line as well. So, yeah, it did sound like he wasn't necessarily ready for all that commitment. He may be just afraid of commitment rather than not ready for it. He might be afraid of actually committing. Maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's felt like he's not been able to take that leap and that step. So that may be something he needs to work on personally. Any other thoughts on Cam and some of his antics and comments that he may have made, because he wasn't the bottom two?
I mean that also could be that he just hasn't found a person that he feels like he doesn't have to change so much for, and that ends up, kind of crashing and burning after 2 years. But I was kind of concerned about his wishy-washy marriage response. And if I'm not wrong, but I do think that there is some issues with his family that he didn't want to go into. Now, I respect that because I don't believe that you should be bearing it all to strangers on day two. So, but I do think if he does get serious with somebody, they do need to push him on that because there's a few things going on with him. There's a few things.
Right, is that he was wishy-washy with the religion part with Rose, his connection with his family. I know he's, of course, Sean, as you said, you don't have to share everything, but I don't hear anything like a firm commitment from him other than being a firefighter. So it's too much of a rocky foundation, and then you want someone to fall in line or submit. It's kind of like it ain't gonna happen with the way you're presenting yourself.
I forgot he's the one who gave that religion. Oh no. Well,
Don't count him out just yet.
don't count me out.
how
Any other
about
thoughts, Sean?
submit to confusion?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I think in like 2025 where we are, I just want us men to better articulate what we're looking for in relationships and not gravitate to these buzzwords because they're catch-alls. And I want to give us the benefit of the doubt that they don't kind of mean how they sound, because fall in line sounds really like dot dot dot, like I think we want, a woman that is cooperative, a woman that, a traditional, wants traditional roles, right? Because that's going to easily, you know, get to where you want to get without telling a woman you want to beat her over the head and have her home barefoot and pregnant. You know what I mean? Like that Neanderthal and that language. I just want us men to elevate our language, use our words a little bit better to articulate what we're looking for in a relationship. We just got to evolve a little bit. I'm sure, and he looks like he has the capacity. He seems like he's intelligent. Just use better words. Don't listen to the Bros podcast. That's giving you insight. Because sometimes it doesn't accurately depict what you want to say. Unless that's really what you want. If you really want somebody to fall in line and that's what you read, then go out there and say it. And maybe there's a woman that is going to be willing to sign up for that.
You know what he's giving me? He's giving me that he is a very handsome man. Women come around him, flock around him, and he ain't got to do too much. So now finally we're in a setting where he has to put forth some effort, and he's like, a newborn doe trying to get his legs and really start walking. That's what it's giving me.
I definitely understand that because obviously he's a firefighter. It may be that he's a good-looking dude. He's dark skin, chocolate, bald head, looking like a Morris chestnut in the firehouse, and so maybe he doesn't have to struggle as much. You know what I'm saying? Two women just flock to him, and therefore, it's easier to be able to slay some dragons, as they would say. But maybe he's finding it a bit more difficult in this environment in terms of actually being more in depth, having to actually have more conversations. It's less about you being flirtatious, less about you being able to, pick up choosing signals and stuff like that, right? But more of a case of like actually trying to develop connections and bridges. And that's something clearly it sounds like he actually also struggles with as well. So it may be an area where he can actually begin to have some growth in. He may need to sit down a little bit and just see how this process is going to change him as well. So somebody said I went too far with the Morris Chestnut. You lot are killing me.
Way
Okay.
too goddamn.
I mean, he does look like a little bit of a Morris Chestnut. No, he doesn't look like Morris Chestnut.
Are you
but
sick?
He looks like that type. I mean,
When
he looks
in
like the type.
Rome is insane.
Morris Walnut.
No, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at.
She said
what-
he's going to compete for the mattress.
She is just out of control.